Are you tired of this? Do you want to be more like that guy? Hello there, I'm Snooze, and this is a guide to becoming a sneaky boy, aka a Black Knife Assassin. Now, as you might have figured out by now, this class is as close as it gets to a classical rogue build in Elden Ring, meaning you're gonna prioritize evading a lot of enemies or sneaking around them to go for a critical strike. This build is fairly simple as it only requires the Black Knife dagger as well as a few convenient talismans. Starting with your stats, you want to go for dexterity, faith and strength in that order, since your weapon requires all of those stats to max out its damage output, and yes, you heard that right, your rogue build actually requires faith to work. Welcome to Elden Ring, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to your way too edgy looking stabbing tools, you can find the Black Knife in the Altus Plateau after killing the Black Knife Assassin in front of the Sainted Hero's grave. This bad boy of a kitchen knife not only looks phenomenal, it also has a really useful special attack which makes you dodge various ground level attacks from enemies, as well as launching a projectile slice every anime protagonist would be proud of. If you want to dual wield with your daggers, I'd recommend using the Scorpion Stinger as your second weapon, since there's a chance of causing your target to suffer from Scarlet Rot. In terms of talismans, you can still pretty much choose whatever you want, apart from the dagger talisman, which is arguably the most important piece of this build, since it actually boosts your critical strikes. Apart from that though, feel free to choose whatever you want, although I do recommend using the Shard of Alexander, the Rotten Winged Sword insignia, and maybe even the Concealing Veil for extra sneaky points.
Are we rushing in? Or are we going sneaky beaky like?
Next in line we have the armor, which in this case does not really matter all that much as long as you look like a true edgelord. Using the Black Knife Assassin armor, however, comes with a fun perk that lets you run around without making any sound. Last but not least, since we're using Faith as one of our main stats, there are a few good choices when it comes to incantations that might prove pretty useful to this build. For example, there is a spell called Darkness which lets you avoid enemy detection and basically gives you a reset mid-fight, letting you get a few extra critical strikes in. Now, since this build is reliant on set critical strikes, using a parrying dagger or a parrying shield might prove to be a good choice for you as well. Oh yeah, and beware of enemies with shields, they refuse to be attacked by daggers. Now, one last thing you need to pay attention to, my fellow Tarnished, is that this is a pretty squishy build, which means that you're gonna die very easily if you don't put a few points into vigor or pay extra good attention while panic rolling away whenever you fail to be sneaky.